Originally, I wasn't going to record this video, but then I decided, oh, why not? So what I've done was I drew out a pair of hands praying, and then I also drew out some hands coming out of a cross, because the idea behind this, I decided to make this for my pastor at the church for his birthday. I've never done this before, and I figured, well, why not? Let's have some fun. So the idea is I want to make these hands coming out of the cross kind of look like water. So I'm using my Dremel. Well, it's a Black & Decker, but I call it a Dremel. And I'm going to carve out each of the two hands coming out the cross, or just carve out enough of it, because I want to put resin in it. I want to make the resin look like it's hands of water. And I know this gets kind of boring, but it took a long time. My hands were all tingly and vibrating when I was done. But you gotta do what you gotta do to get it done. If I had some carving sets, that would probably be a lot faster and a lot better, but I do not have it. And here's what the one hand looks like after carving it out. I know it's kind of all pitted and not looking that great, but I figured, that'll give it more character. And here's when I got both of the hands carved out. And I redrew the praying hands underneath so I can see what's going on. Next, I decided I was going to wood burn it, so I wood burned the outline of the hands and the cross. Now, I'm not very good with wood burning, but I think it turned out okay. Once I was finished with the outside, I ended up wood burning my pastor's favorite verse on the inside, which don't need it's up to y'all if you want to look into it. It's Ephesians 1:17 through 23. But I decided I didn't want to really paint per se. I wanted like a wash. So I took some acrylic paint, mixed it with a lot of water, just to have a little bit of color, but nothing too brilliant. So I ended up already going over the sides and the back with the same color wash, and now I'm doing the top of this wash. and it's this color was actually called burlap. Then I made a wash of blue for the sleeves. And then I went ahead and painted the hands with another wash, because I didn't want it brilliant, because this is for a man and I didn't want like bright colors. For this next part, I ended up taking some gold mica powder, mixing it in with my polyacrylic sealant, and used that to paint it on the cross and the beams of light coming out the cross, which it gives it a kind of a cool looking pearlescent shiny sheen to it, which I thought was befitting for what it was. And then I decided afterwards that I kind of wanted a little bit of sheen inside the hands, but not too much, so I didn't want to paint it in, so I just rubbing it in the hands instead, just to have a little bit, not too much. Then once it was all dry, I painted the whole thing, sides, bottom, top, with polyacrylic sealant, which I don't think I recorded it all because, well, you get the gist of it. It's kind of boring. So then on the inside I got some velvety type fabric, cut it to size, and then I got some liquid nails, and I'm just spreading it around the bottom of the container with liquid nails, so I can glue the velvet down inside. And that liquid nails was hard to get it out. Now I'm just flattening and getting that piece of fabric nicely put in the bottom. Now I took some resin and I mixed some blue colorant to some epoxy resin, which it ended up being too light, and then I added a little bit more, and I liked the way that looked better because I didn't want it dark blue. I just wanted it to simulate like if water, but not necessarily. I didn't want toilet bowl water, if you know what I mean. And I just filled up the two hands that I carved out with the resin. Now for this project, I've never done this before, but I think it turned out pretty good. I kind of like the way it turned out, and I hope my pastor likes it too. Thanks for watching, and I hope y'all enjoyed. Have a good one.